NRL announced high shot crackdown in round 5 according to Code Sports. The NRL has put all 17 clubs on notice after a weekend of foul play, which resulted in a notice from NRL head office that the match officials had erred in failing to use the sin bin to sanction players for contact with the head. Now, I understand that this would be led by concerns about future legalities.
Yes.
What do you call it, tourist?
Yeah. Litigation.
Litigation's the word. So it's understood the NRL has particularly concerned for four incidents, including Jerome Luai, Jordan Ricky, Tom Gilbert, and Reed Marnie. I've got to say, I love Reed Marnie. I love Reed Marnie, and he's great for the game. But the two incidents, how he cops a fine, he has been kissed on the you-know-what by a rainbow. He's so lucky.
Yeah. Well, I think, I think you're right with the litigation, because remember, was it 2 years ago at Magic Round when everyone was, they were cracking down on, was it 3 years ago, Brooksy? No, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
They were cracking down on any head highs and you got binned straight away.
Yep.
So I feel that maybe the lawyers, you're right, have got in touch and said, listen, you're letting the game slip away a little bit in regards to that.
I'll tell you what, I've had concussions, and many of our listeners may have had the same. Brian, have you had a concussion?
I've had plenty, yeah.
Yes. So it's not something
Tourist gives me one every about 3 p.m. 3 p.m.
It's not something you want your children to have, right? So people are going to just, we default to woke, we default to complaining, but I don't hate it. But in saying that, can I just forecast what will be the conversation in 2 weeks' time?
Yep.
Okay. People will say, okay, we understand that's fair, but we need to have a 5-minute sin bin.
Yeah.
Can you see that happening?
Well, with the fact that how hard it is to gain momentum in the game currently with 12 men.
Yes.
As soon as you get down to 12 men, it's very hard to stop
points being scored. Or what they should change the rule to is for all. Actually, Brian, I'll ask you this: Would the rule be better?
4 years ago.
Would the rule be better if it was a 10-minute sin bin, or the moment the opponent score points? So, in other words, you cop me high, I've got a kick from right in front, but you're off for 10 minutes. So, therefore, I'm probably going to march on because I want the 6 points.
Gotcha.
Because the moment we score points, you come back on. Would that be a better rule, do you think?
Hang on. When you say points, just a goal, like a penalty goal?
Yes, yeah.
Well, that's going to encourage.
Up to 10 minutes. I think it'd be great theatre if that rule change came in. Up to 10 minutes for any discretion. But the moment, so we don't stuff the game completely, and the match review committee can deal with that. But the moment that points have been scored by the opponent who's been infringed upon, then you're back on the field. Thoughts, Brian?
Yeah, I'd rather go the 5 minutes.
Would you?
Yeah, the 5 minute sin bin. The thing that frustrates me is it's the accidental head highs. That's what got.
Yeah, but they're saying direct to the head.
No, I know, but we are in a contact sport.
Yeah, but if it's not real accidental if I've got you direct to the head.
But what about the ones where they come in on the side and they're not looking? They'll come in and they might hit the shoulder of the guy, and I've seen it before, and they go, well, that's a penalty. You've got to take care. But you're coming in for, and you know that he's not intentionally do it.
Yep.
I understand the ones where you got a stiff arm and you're clocking them.
Yep.
That's obviously.
I like it. You know why I like it? Okay, I'll ask you this. Do you think Reed Marnie should have, with both incidents, and it's not a smear campaign against Reed Marnie?
The second one, no. The second one, it was fair game.
Which one? On the floor?
On the floor. It just looked bad. That's fine. The head high that he got.
Do kids need to see that? Like, do we need to do that? I don't like that.
Well,
Is it fair game? Like somebody's lying on the ground, it's not fair game.
Well,
I would not. If this happened in a park.
Yeah, different.
But why do you need to do it? Okay. Why do you need to do it?
What about this? What if I'm standing?
I don't agree with that.
What if I'm standing in a tackle?
Yep.
And my back's towards you, and I'm about to pass, and my ribs are exposed?
No.
You're not going to whack me?
I don't agree with that.
Oh, yes, you do.
No, that's a dog shot.
It's not a dog shot.
That's not how I was brought up. Like, mate, you got people holding you. We are taught at school that if you're at a supreme disadvantage, I don't agree with that. Well, I don't agree with what Reed Marnie did. He was a shot duck.
When we were growing up, a certain coach.
Yeah, I get that.
If your ribs were exposed, you had to whack him.
Yeah, I get that. And
so are you saying times have changed?
No, I'm just saying, like, human. Like, it's not the right thing to do.
No, I know it's not, but it's rugby league. This is a tough sport.
Gaytok wouldn't do it.
Gaytok probably, because Gaytok doesn't like violence. I know where you're coming from, but it's We're in a very
Oh,
competitive
yeah,
sport.
but what's the advantage? What's the hero? Okay,
You can whack him.
all right. So
Slow the play the ball.
who was it? Was it
Well, next time.
Who was the person on the ground when Reed? And it's not a smear campaign against Reed Money. Atkinson, right?
Yeah.
If he broke his ribs and he was out for the year, would you be having the same opinion? Would the whole of rugby league be having the same opinion?
Yeah, I'd be saying there's certain players that would do it. I got no problem. I had no problem with it.
Yeah, I understand.
I had no problem
That's
with
the
it.
beautiful thing about life. It's a beautiful thing about rugby
The only
league.
thing is, right, so
I don't like
as
it.
you mentioned before, you're standing up in a tackle and you come and whack me in the side of the ribs. If you don't do it, I'm going to continually do that play. You know what I mean? So next time I know, well, I won't be doing that again. I'll be...
Yeah, but mate, we're better than that. Like, if you and I are in a fight and then Brooksy and Tourist come and hold me up and it's me versus
it's
you
not
with no
a
arms.
fight.
No,
It's not a fight.
Well, it's the same consequences.
No, it's-
And then if one of your mates, Beasto, comes over and just jams me in the ribs and I'm
in
stuffed.
a fight, no. But if we were tackling
No,
and
I don't
I
agree.
held you up and I was coming, it's not the cannonball, but I'm going to hit you in the ribs if your ribs
mate,
are exposed.
I know we're a competitive sport, but it's not a go, in my opinion. But that's the beautiful thing. We disagree. I don't like it. Gay talks with me, and he's Mooks. Mooks is with you. Your team Mooks. I'm team Gay talk.
Okay. Damien, the putter pest, White Lotus is edging me to my absolute limit. Yeah, it's happening. It's so good.
It's the greatest show of all time. People like myself and Matty Rogers, we played the game about 80 kilos, and we played the game against some people who were in excess of 110 kilos and some people who were later found to be on the gear. So I understand how hard it is to play in the National Rugby League, and I still, no matter what you say, a person lying still on the ground being hit with no reason for that, I don't agree with it. But that's the whole thing. Brian doesn't agree with me.
Well, he landed on him. He ran in and he was fair game.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair game. That's what I'm saying.
You don't run over and touch
Just
him.
make the tackle. Just make the tackle, mate. Just make the tackle. That's what I think.
Okay, what if it was a grand final? What if it's a grand final?
Yep.
And Nathan Cleary's lying down there, and you knew he had a sore, busted shoulder.
Yeah.
And it's like the first 10 minutes of the game.
Well, I personally wouldn't do that.
First 10 minutes of the game.
I wouldn't do that.
Grand final.
I understand that. I wouldn't do it. You asked me the question, I wouldn't do it. I will say this, that the same people who are saying, oh, you're soft sugar, blah, 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 blah. That's fine. That's fine. But had Daniel Atkinson copped a year out with broken ribs, I bet you the chaos and the carnage, he'd be on the back page of the paper. People would be into him. It's a dog shot, and the tide would turn. So consequence. Anyway, let's move on. West Tigers preparing a $5 million deal for Galvin. Danny Wilder reports the West Tigers are preparing to offer Lachlan Galvin a 5-year deal worth $5 million to keep him at the club. Meanwhile, one club has ruled themselves out of the race. Do you like the early rule out, Brian?
Well, this is rugby league. The early rule out, it doesn't come into play because they can just go, oh yeah, we're ruling it out, but then someone else from the club will go and sign him, and they go, I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know. I thought we were ruling out.
That's right.
Like, don't believe everything you read, especially in rugby league, because there's a lot of porkies.
Yeah, a lot of porkies. Anyway, let's go to 100% footy. Danny Wilder last night. Here he is talking about Lachlan Galvin.
Look, it's hard to get info out of the Tigers at the moment.
Yep.
But the info I'm getting is it's most likely to be a 5-year offer and around the $5 million mark. So we're going straight to the 7 figures for Lachlan Galvin. So the Tigers aren't going to muck around. They're not going to confirm this, obviously, but that's what I'm hearing. One club who won't have a crack at Lachlan Galvin is the Roosters.
Right.
I think the Tigers have been made aware of that. And I guess it's in part to do with the manager, Isaac Moses. The Roosters refused to deal with him. And Lachlan Galvin's manager is Isaac Moses.
Okay, you know what? The biggest story out of all that, which Danny Wilder said, is at the very, very start, his first words were, which if I'm a Tigers fan, I'm absolutely tickle-pink and wrapped with that. Hard to get info out of the Tigers at the moment. Hallelujah. Thank God this moment has finally arrived. Hard to get information out of the Tigers right now. Amen, rugby league gods. You've finally delivered. Thank you so much. God bless that. Maybe we are heading the right way.
Or they're just giving them a curveball.
Yeah.
That's the other one. What would you prefer? Would you prefer curveball or vault?
I'm Team Volt.
You're a Volta.
Yeah, I'm a Volta. Rocket Gibraltar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find that very hard to believe that the Roosters aren't interested.
Hang on, Brooks is sliding into the DMs here. Okay. Volt Disney, he said.
Volt Disney.
Next time you got some gold, come and throw the mics on.
Yeah.
You're like one of the Texans who put no name to it.
Listen, you two, behind your ivory tower, just whispering,
Yeah.
No, you're not. Taurus, you tell everyone what you said because you can go out to
Alexander Volkanovski.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. I liked it better when you were cranky about Tasman. $1 million. That's quite interesting. I don't believe that he'll get the million.
What do you think, Guy Volta?
I think he's more. I mean,
you don't think he'll get $1 million?
I don't think not for 5 years.
Really?
I think it'll be increments going up. You can't give the kid $1 million. He's played.
I know, but
20 games.
Mate, in this marketplace, he'll absolutely get that.
I reckon he'll end up on $1 million. There'll be clauses, like if he plays Origin, if they get to the semi-finals. I think we're getting a little bit carried away.
I know
at the moment.
Two things. Firstly, I think the Rugby League needs to come out and put an embargo on any Origin talk until a certain date. We need to agree as a game, and we've got Clinton Newton coming in tomorrow, that you don't talk Origin on air until a certain... We all go too early.
Yeah, we do.
There's medication out for that, Brian.
There is. I'm really thirsty. I feel like a beer. Anyone got any Volta? Sorry. You started it, you Derricks.
Yes.
Sorry, mate.
Let's go to Toby Sexton. Okay. So after passing on Daly Cherry Evans, the Bulldogs opened negotiations with Sexton League. Sexton. Adrian Prosecco writes for the Sydney Morning Herald. Canterbury has opened negotiations with Sexton after the unheralded halfback helped steer the club to the top of the NRL ladder. Sexton remains off contract at the end of the season despite the Bulldogs opting not to pursue the signature of departing Manly skipper Daly Cherry Evans.
Yes, I can see. But now I love Bailey Hayward. I've been singing his praises for a long time.
Yep.
I feel that they're grooming him for the 7 role.
Bailey Hayward. Wow.
He played 7 coming through. I love him because he's a tough kid.
Wow.
And that's the hallmarks of a great player. If you've got the toughness and you put your body where other halves or other players won't, you're in front by him. You're already in front. The fact that he can play, the fact that he can kick is just an added bonus. But I feel that they're grooming him for the 7 role.
So you see Hayward Burton down the track?
Yep, definitely.
Wow, okay.
And I call them the blonde bombshells. They could be, even if you put them side to side, they could be Bros.
Oh.
When will I be famous?
I can't handle this. Brian, I did not see that coming.
You did not see that coming?
No.
They've re-signed
You
him.
are thinking clearly, are you?
Clearly now.
Yes.
I think Bailey Hayward is a natural 7.
What, you're still here? Well, you can see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio, you beautiful humans.